listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Good morning, Jammers, and welcome to the show. I am your host, Brad Brock, and this is Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope everybody enjoyed their Tuesday. It was a rainy one. My goodness, it certainly was not dry out. It started out pretty nice, but then it slowly and surely became quite a rainy mess. I played out at the Tipsy Tiki in Fort Pierce last night, and I'm not gonna lie, getting out there, I was certain that we were gonna get canceled. But it went along. The rain slowed down enough to get loaded in and set up and perform the show, and it was a great time. It was a small but mighty crowd there, which was very, very nice. I was very glad that those people were there because I'd have been awful lonely without them. My better half, as some would call her, Jordan actually went and was at Paul Robertson's from the Drums and Rums podcast, was at his event downtown West Palm Beach for the launch party of Tides Rum and Vodka. And I got a little giveaway here, a little tumbler, shaker. I was bummed that I missed it, but I'm glad that part of the destruction crew was able to be there and be part of it. So, Paul, I heard that you had a little. I heard that Paul had a little snafu, a little rain snafu. Jordan had told me that that just said, "Now you know how Brad feels," and yeah, man, it's true. There's nothing worse than getting caught in the rain, certainly with any kind of electronics or anything like that. It never fares well in the wet rain. But it's getting better this week because the high pressure builds in from the east and the Saharan dust filters in. The rain chances go down to slim to none. From this afternoon through Friday. The isolated storms are back in the forecast by the weekend, but we'll have low-end coverage at this point. Highs will soar into the mid-90s by Thursday and Friday due to a lack of clouds and rain. Likely the hottest days out of the next 5 to 7 days coming up. So be sure to have your waters, those little coolie pack things that you put on your neck. All of that's going to be super necessary moving through the rest of this hot week. But yeah, that was the rain that we were going to get for this week. I know. Paul says, "Now you tell me, no rain." Yeah. We should have done the event today. It certainly would have been better for weather purposes. But what are you going to do? Can't predict the weather, especially when you're planning events like that. Got some interesting stories here for you this morning. I can't wait to get into them. And it's all over the place. Nothing is intertwined here. It's all wild. But we got some national days today. It's National Korean War Veterans Armistice Day, National Creme Brulee Day, National New Jersey Day, as if we needed that. No, I'm just kidding. Love my Jersey people. National Love is Kind Day, National Take Your Pants for a Walk Day, and National Walk on Stilts Day. Clearly a day made for me. It's also National Scotch Day, which I'm very excited about. We're actually have a whole podcast tonight, the Jams and Cocktails podcast, this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. Revolves all around all things Scotch. So be sure to tune in for that this evening. And we'll teach a thing or two about Scotch. Got some celebrity birthdays as well. Baseball legend Alex Rodriguez is 46 years old today. Actress Maya Rudolph is 49. Taylor Schilling, who is Piper from the Orange is the New Black series, is 37. Heartthrob Nikolai Coster-Waldau, who we all affectionately know as Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones, is 51 years old today. And musician Pete Yorn is 48. As always, we're going to get into our top 10 list, but we also have some interesting topics to get into. Not that this comes as much of a surprise, but Russia will be withdrawing from the International Space Station as soon as 2025. I'm going to tell you all about it after our very first music break here on the JNC in the Morning Show. We're going to give you a tune from the Nouveau Honkies. So grab yourself a cup of coffee, settle in, or grab yourself some Starbucks or Dunkin' while on your drive, and we'll be right back.
It was Tuesday after morning, the sun was shining down. It didn't stop the rainfall and the steam danced on the ground. I was drinking courage from a flip-top can, and you were somewhere wondering how and where I am. I'm still alive, I'm alright, I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. 2 doors down from paradise. Wednesday brings the paper and a funny page. The mirror shows the miles and the paper knows the age. Me, I felt better, but I felt worse. A different pen and paper, you just rearrange the verse. I'm still alive, I'm alright, I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. I'm 2 doors down from paradise. Are on the stage, lightning, wolf, and mud, and Texas swing, the purple haze. $1 in my bucket, you name a song to play, and listen to me all night long and don't hear a word I say. I'm still alive, I'm alright, I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. I'm 2 doors down from paradise. We the roadies, we the soundmen, we the singers, we the bands. So give us all some credit, give us all a hand. You'll be going home soon to your little hell. We'll be up here on the stage playing with ourselves. I'm still alive, I'm alright, I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. 2 doors down, yeah, still alive, I'm alright, I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. I'm 2 doors down from paradise.
like a bad hurricane. It sucked me in and it blew me away. And I can't seem to catch sight of anything that's real or anything that's right. I just know that I want you to love me, baby. Love me good. You grabbed a hold of me, baby, but knowing damn well that I can't let go. You always seem to get me on my back, knowing I can't say no. I just know that I want you to love me, baby. Love me good. Love me, baby, like no man ever could. Will you still say you love me after 5 years of not seeing my face? Will you walk on water? And I want to make a mistake. I want you to love me, baby. Love me good. Oh, yes. Love me, baby, like no man ever could. No, like no man ever could. Oh, like no man ever could.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show.
That's right. You are listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show. Welcome back. That was Abby Owens there. I would love me on the end of that track there. And before that was the Nouveau Honkies, who I guess it was a year or two ago they got in trouble. Banned from some social media platform because of the name Honkies in their band name, which is just, in my opinion, just the most ridiculous thing. But they're a great band, so check them out whenever you get a chance. As I mentioned, and it may not come as much of a surprise, but Russia will be withdrawing from the International Space Station as soon as 2025. The head of the Roscosmos, which is the Russians' state-run space agency, announced Tuesday that Russia intends to withdraw from the International Space Station after its current commitment expires at the end of 2024. Yuri Borisov, who was appointed head of Roscosmos several weeks ago, made the announcement in a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He said the decision to leave the station after 2024 has been made. I think that by this time we will start putting together a Russian orbital station of their own. He added, referring to a plan to build an exclusively Russian space station called the Russian Orbital Service Station, first proposed back in 2021. Now, this is not the first time that Roscosmos has signaled its intention to withdraw from the ISS after 2024. Borisov's predecessor, Dmitry Rogozin, made similar claims back in June of 2021 and again in April and May of this year, citing the United States economic sanctions on Russia as the main reason. Of course, it would be politics that stifle our relationship for space exploration, but what are you going to do? Western sanctions on Russia have increased following the nation's invasion of the Ukraine in February. NASA says it has not received any formal notice about Russia's withdrawal, according to the New York Times. Though Russia's current commitment ends at the end of 2024, NASA hopes to extend the ISS's operation through 2030. The first module of the ISS was launched in 1998, and astronauts have lived there since November 2000. The station is a joint effort among the U.S., Russia, Canada, Europe, and Japan. Russia's withdrawal could significantly complicate the space station's future operations, science historian Jordan Brim told USA Today. Practically, it could be a nightmare depending on how hard Russia wants to make it for NASA and its remaining partners, Bim said. The ISS consists of two interconnected sections, one run by NASA and the other by Russia. An array of solar panels on the NASA section generate much of the station's power. The Russian section, meanwhile, provides propulsion to periodically push the ISS into a higher orbit and, of course, prevent it from falling to Earth. Should Russia withdraw, the remaining partner nations will need to implement some other means of propulsion to keep the ISS safely in orbit. The withdrawal will take some time. Pavel Luzin, a Russian military and space analyst, told the New York Times, most likely we need to interpret this as Russia's refusal to extend the station's operation up until 2030. Earlier this year, NASA announced a new plan for decommissioning the aging space station in January of 2031 by allowing the ISS to tumble into a remote corner of the Pacific Ocean known as Point Nemo. NASA has signed agreements with 3 private companies to launch several new commercial space stations by the late 2020s. So I feel like that's going to be another story in a few years. R.I.P. the ISS. They're very interesting. The geopolitical climate of the world today. It's an interesting time to be alive, wouldn't you say? And to make it more interesting, the Mega Millions jackpot surges to $1.02 billion after nobody won yesterday. You can play the lottery and be a billionaire. $1.02 billion is where the Mega Million jackpot has skyrocketed to after no ticket matched all 6 winning numbers in Tuesday night's drawing. The lottery spokesperson Marie Kilbane told CNN in an email all jurisdictions have reported in and no one has hit the Mega Millions jackpot. So the jackpot will, of course, roll on to over $1 billion for Friday. So I don't know. I don't normally play the lottery. But I feel like I might have to. I feel like I might have to play this week for my chance at just over $1 billion. Philip says he guesses it's up where it will be worth his time to buy a ticket now, and I agree. That's what I'm saying. I might have to get out there and get a ticket today for the Friday drawing. In case you're wondering, the winning numbers last night were 7, 29, 60, 63, and 66. And the Mega Ball was 15. And, of course, as I mentioned, the next drawing will be at 11 p.m. this Friday evening. Now, although no one hit the jackpot on Tuesday, some winners claimed big prizes. Now, there were 8 tickets that won $1 million each after matching the first 5 numbers. And the prize for another winning ticket sold in Ohio, matching the first 5 numbers, was $3 million because it included an optional Mega Plier purchased for $1 extra. There's a winning ticket on Friday. The $1.02 billion jackpot will be the 3rd largest Mega Millions jackpot prize in the game's 20-year history, according to the Mega Millions website. The largest Mega Millions jackpot was $1.537 billion, and that was back in 2018 for tickets sold in South Carolina. A $1.05 billion jackpot was won by a group of 4 players in Michigan on January back in 2021. Over 24 hours, traffic to the Mega Millions website reached 62 million requests, Kilbane said. There was so much traffic to the Mega Millions website Tuesday night that soon after 11 p.m., the 11 p.m. drawing, the website was down for a time, though it appeared to improve as the traffic slowed. 4 Mega Millions jackpots have been won this year in Tennessee, California, New York, and Minnesota. See, Philip, Tennessee. I feel like Florida is next. We have to be. We must be. I must win my Mega Ball. Mega Millions. Friday. If you don't see the show next Monday, you'll know why. You'll know why. I'm driving to Tallahassee to claim my Mega Millions. Just so you know, the JNC hotline is open, 772-888-1596 if you want to chime in. And if you're watching on YouTube and you're driving or you're leaving to head to work, you can also listen to the show in its glorious audio form on the free LIVE365 Radio App. Download it from the App Store or Google Play, and just search JNC Radio, and it'll pop right up. You'll notice right away our blue and yellow circle logo, and you just click on that, and you'll hear music all day, and of course this show in the morning, JNC podcast on Wednesday nights, and anything else that we decide to throw on there moving forward with that new radio station. So check it out, Live365 Radio App for free. I guess that's true, Philip. Philip said you could drive to Tallahassee right after the show, right? Accurate. To be honest, if I win on Friday, I'll probably be driving to Tallahassee on Saturday. So it'll be all good. All good. No worries. All right. I thought this, speaking of space and the space station, this was an interesting story that I saw. I thought it was pretty cool, and you could probably use, somebody could have used their Mega Millions on this, but Buzz Aldrin's jacket that flew with him to the moon's surface fetches $2.8 million in an auction. An in-flight coverall jacket worn by astronaut Buzz Aldrin when he flew the Apollo 11 mission to the moon's surface in '69 was auctioned off to an anonymous bidder for almost $2.8 million. The winning bidder did not immediately reveal their identity and participated in the auction by phone, which was facilitated by the Sotheby's auction house. The $2,772,500 paid for the jacket made it the most valuable American space-flown artifact ever sold at auction. The 92-year-old Aldrin put a list of other items from his career up for auction. Some of the items date back to his time as a student at the United States Military Academy. They include the Eagle Lunar Module's circuit breaker switch, which broke during the mission and could have caused Aldrin and Neil Armstrong to become stuck on the moon. Nowadays, it doesn't sound like such a bad deal. Sotheby's called the list of items among the most significant and valuable space exploration artifacts ever offered at auction. Aldrin said in a press statement, after deep consideration, the time felt right to share these items with the world, which for many are symbols of a historical moment, but for him, have always remained personal mementos of a life dedicated to science and exploration. One of the other items that were put up for auction is a old brushed aluminum black felt-tipped ink pen. It was flown to the moon and used in that mission. It is credited with saving Aldrin and his fellow astronauts after that circuit breaker switch was broken. When the accident happened, Aldrin is recorded as calling back to NASA saying, "Houston, Tranquility. Do you have any way of showing the configuration of the engine arm circuit breaker? He said, the reason I'm asking is because the end of it appears to be broken off. I think we can push it back in again. I'm not sure we could pull it off, or I'm not sure we could pull it out if we pushed it in over. And Aldrin said, after considering selling the items for a long time, he hopes that the various artifacts can be shared to offer some insight into what it has been like to be Buzz Aldrin. And that leads me, I'm assuming that Buzz Aldrin is still alive. I thought maybe this is a Mandela effect, but I thought that, he had passed away ages ago. I'm clearly wrong. Because he's putting stuff up for auction. I aged him to death. My God, he's 92 years old, you guys. Born January 20th, 1930. In New Jersey, of all places. National New Jersey Day. Buzz Aldrin. Still kicking. You guys know anything about the Mandela effect? Because I just witnessed it right here, sitting with you this morning. I'm sitting here thinking that Buzz Aldrin was no longer with us, but he is an American historical figure, still alive with us. Wild, man. Well, I think we're gonna take another little quick break, and when we come back, you guys remember the show Doogie Howser? Well, becoming a true story, and I'm going to tell you the story right after this. This is Ryan Owens. You're listening to JNC in the Morning. We'll be right back.
She ruled my world, so unfamiliar to the love that she gave me. But hold on, baby, hold on. She said, let's go and walk around. I'm tired of sitting at home, this party's starting now. So come on, break it up and then we'll burn it down. And we can stroll the town for a little bit. And the breeze, it felt so fine. And the hand felt so good in mine. Alright, well, true love is hard to find when you're looking in those eyes. Yeah, them pretty blue eyes, like since I got you, could I write a pretty girl love song? Since I got your love, I write a pretty girl love song. So hold on, baby, hold on. We can rock on this beat all night long. And tomorrow when you turn your radio on, you'll be like, oh shit, they're playing my song. That's right, girl. Come on. Woo. Yeah, they're playing your song. Yeah, babe. But truer words have never been spoken. Yes, L-O-V-E, love you, and I'm hoping that you're L-O-V-E, loving it too. So hold on, baby, cause this one's for you. You like the sun, you're shining every day, and I'll be your moon, collecting all the rays. Never meet up all the time, so my analogy is free. But analogies are not, she's going to love me anyway. listen just in case there should ever come a day when I ain't there to say, baby, you can listen to this pretty good love song that I play. Since I got you, girl, I write a pretty good love song. Since I got your love, I write a pretty girl love song. So hold on, baby, hold on, and we can rock on this beat all night long. And tomorrow when you turn your radio on, you'll be like, oh shit, they're playing my song. Yeah, baby, come on. Yes, they're playing your song. That's right, baby. Yeah, they're playing, yeah, they're playing, yeah, they're playing. Yeah, they're playing your song. Right, baby.
My mama said, baby, you like to be alone, but then I said, you know how I love your little lessons. My daddy said, nothing wrong with being on solo, but don't forget, he had to fight water with affection. Everybody wants someone to love. 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 Yeah. Yeah. So baby, let me want a peanut butter jelly. Where's my other half?
And welcome back to JNC in the morning. Hotline's open, 772-888-1596. Also keeping an eye on the chats there in YouTube, so feel free to chime in if you hear something that you find interesting or you know something interesting and we're not talking about. But before the break, we were talking about Doogie Howser. Any of you Gen Xers or older millennials may remember Doogie Howser from a television show, The Young Doctor. What's happening in real life? 13-year-old girl has been accepted to a medical school program only a year after graduating high school. Elena Annalie Wicker shared the news on Instagram with her more than 20,000 followers recently. She said, "I worked so hard to reach my goals and live my dreams. Mama, I made it." A teenager posted below a picture of her program acceptance letter. She was accepted into the Burroughs Welcome Scholars Early Assurance Program at the University of Alabama at Birmingham's Hersink School of Medicine. The school confirmed in a statement to CNN. The program is a partnership between the medical school and the HBCUs across Alabama, and it provides early acceptance to the students who meet the requirements for acceptance and the matriculation according to their website. Elena posted on Instagram that she graduated high school last year at the age of 12. She's already accumulated a list of impressive accomplishments. In an interview with the Washington Post, she said, "I'm still a normal 13-year-old, but not quite." She's currently a student at both Arizona State University and Oakwood University, earning 2 separate undergraduate degrees in biological studies and sciences, according to the Washington Post. And yet, how does she do it all at such a young age? She told the Washington Post, "I just have an extremely good time management skill and very disciplined." I did not have either of those things when I was 13 years old. My goodness. She also created the Brown STEM Girl to engage, empower, and educate girls of color in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, according to its website. The Brown STEM Girl Foundation honors the legacy of Katherine Johnson, a trailblazer for African-American mathematicians at NASA. Elena keeps the public updated on her journey, posting to her Instagram and Facebook page where she expresses her love and passion for STEM, NASA, and Legos. Elena's mother told the Washington Post that she noticed her daughter's intellect since the science buff was a toddler. She said Elena was gifted, and it was just how she did things and how advanced she was. She was reading chapter books. So, good for you. Congratulations, Elena. Man. Now, a question I got to pose to you is, how would you feel about I imagine it's probably going to take her a few years to get through med school. So she'll be, at the very geriatric age of, 20, 18. By the time she's working on you in the ER. How would you feel about somebody so young saving your life? I guess if your life needs saving, it really doesn't matter who it is as long as they are capable, I suppose. But 13 years old, my goodness. I graduated high school at 17, and I thought I was doing something good. She graduated probably on her accolades. I graduated because of sheer, I do not want to be here anymore. Get me out. Do not want to sit in this classroom. Yes, congratulations. That's a big deal. Some good news if you like electronics. It appears that there are some exceptions in the rising inflation going on worldwide, but particularly in this country. Electronic prices are actually falling, if you could believe that. As the U.S. experiences near record inflation, there's one category where you might see some relief this summer. And it's hard to believe if you shop for gas, groceries, or back-to-school clothes. Parents like Quinn Hoffman say inflation has taken a bite. She said, I mean, it's definitely more expensive. Anywhere you go, it's been a challenge. Shopper Lena Bright was struggling with the price of clothing and shoes. It's very expensive. But that's not the case with some electronics. Tim May, who supervises installations at an electronics store called Alamo Electronics, says he's seeing the price. He's seeing some price cuts this summer. He said, we've seen some great buys on 4K televisions. He said the technology is getting better and better, and the prices are not any more now than they were 3 or 4 years ago. So the price of a big screen TV is down almost 13% from June of last year to this June, according to the Consumer Price Index. Shoppers may also find or be able to find deals on smartphones and laptops this summer, too. According to the latest government numbers, the HD TV prices are down 12.7%. Smartphone prices are down 20%. Video cameras and gear prices are down 4%. Computer prices are down about 1%. The stimulus check-fueled shopping boom is ending, with shoppers having less money to spend on TVs, laptops, and phones, especially with higher gas and grocery prices. Bankrate.com's Ted Roseman says people are spending more money outside the home rather than on furnishings, as they did in 2020 and 2021. If people are spending more on travel and dining, they're going to be spending less on electronics and appliances and clothing and things like that. The supply chain is also slowly improving. He said the fact that all of a sudden there's more supply at a time when there's less demand, this may actually cause prices to either come down or at least level off. The National Retail Federation says sales at electronic stores are down nearly 9% this year, which means stores have an incentive to move product. So look out for more sales in the weeks ahead, especially over Labor Day weekend. That way you don't waste your money. If you're in the market for a new TV or anything like that, get out there and get it. Get it soon. Prices are coming down. Love it. And if you're wondering why the world's going to shit, I'm going to tell you. It's because archaeologists in Egypt have discovered a 2,600-year-old tomb belonging to a man of high status, a commander of foreign mercenaries named Wibri Mary Neith. And guess what? They didn't just leave it alone. No. No, they opened it up. A tomb that was meant to be sealed shut forever opened up, and we wonder why the world's gone to shit. The tomb's embalming cache, found in 2021, includes more than 370 pottery storage jars containing materials used in the commander's mummification, making it the largest embalming cache ever found in Egypt. A team of Egyptian and Czech researchers said in a statement, the tomb is buried at Abu Sire, a few miles south of the giant necropolis at Saqqara. The grave robbers stole. Oh, jeez. Grave robbers stole Neith's mummy in antiquity, but archaeologists located remains of his sarcophagus that have hieroglyphics inscribed on them. The glyphs give his identity and quote part of chapter 72 in the Book of the Dead that describes the resurrection of the deceased and his departure to the afterlife. So his mummy was gone, stolen by grave robbers, which is the name that you give to people that get there first. The second people are archaeologists, of course, obviously. For science. In his role as commander of the ancient Egypt's mercenary troops, he would have supervised and commanded mercenaries coming from the Aegean Sea or the Aegean Islands and Asia Minor. The commander lived during the late 26th dynasty, around 688 BC to 525 BC, or early 27th dynasty, which is 525 BC to 404 BC. According to the statement, while Egypt was independent during the 26th dynasty, the 27th dynasty saw the country be conquered and ruled by the Persians. Despite the growing foreign influence, Neith appeared to be of local descent, according to his name and artifacts found in his tomb. Miroslav Barda, the director of Czech excavations in Egypt, told Live Science in an email why he was buried with the largest known embalming cache from ancient Egypt is uncertain. It's a difficult question at this stage of analysis. We don't know. Commander was also buried with 402 glazed ceramic Shabiti figurines. The ancient Egyptians believed that Shabitis worked for the deceased in the afterlife, and they are commonly found in Egyptian tombs. The finds also include a heart scarab, an amulet, and an ostracon, so I guess is a pottery shard, inscribed with more spells from the Book of the Dead, which is just great. Let's unleash more of that. I'm a little superstitious, I'm not going to lie. I believe in all that mumbo-jumbo. Live Science contacted several scholars not affiliated with the research to get their thoughts on the finds. They all found it to be an interesting discovery. It's certainly an important, interesting, and most welcome discovery, although not unique in that area. The Czechs have been working in Abusir for more than 20 years already. They unearthed several tombs of high officials of the late 26th and 27th dynasty, said Professor Wittmann of Egyptology at the Julius Maximilian University of Würzburg, Germany. Depending on exactly which time period he lived, the commander's life could have been quite different. I think our Walbrin Neith lived most of his life, maybe all of his life, during the 26th dynasty. Benjamin Sullivan, a lecturer in ancient history at Arizona State University, told Live Science he doubted that he would have boasted about being a commander of foreign mercenaries if he lived during the 27th dynasty, the time when the Persians ruled Egypt. Additionally, Sullivan noted that this title was more commonly used during the 26th dynasty. It's interesting that there was no armor or weapons found in the tomb, noted Daniel Gomez Castro, a historian who has researched and written extensively about Greek mercenaries in the ancient world. It's possible that he was not a warrior or battlefield commander, but rather a political appointee who handled administrative tasks, such as making sure the mercenaries got paid. If he lived during the time when the Persians controlled Egypt, he could have been a relative of a dynast, a person appointed by the Persians who had some local authority. The tomb does date to the time of Persian rule, and it illustrates that the Persians were so confident in their rule that they entrusted such an important task to a local dignitary. And that is, according to Stefan Pfeiffer, a professor of ancient history at Martin Luther University in Germany. It wouldn't be the only time the Persians did this. A tomb belonging to an Egyptian dates to the time of Persian rule, and he served as a senior official for the Persians. So, the point of that whole story is we've cracked open yet another tomb by a people that are known to put curses on people that disturb their eternal slumber. I never could wrap my head around it. I mean, I understand that it's a way to understand history and understand the past. But the very first time they read some things about being cursed for opening the tomb, for me, it would have been the last time, I think. We got some music news coming up after this break. John Mayer joins forces with Dave Chappelle and Bobby Weir for a benefit series. I'm going to tell you more about that when we come back. You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show. Here's one from yours truly. We'll be right back.
tragic situation. Love is blind, but she don't see it. Climb the mountains, put the signs up and everything, but she brushes by me like she doesn't feel a thing. Oh, this one-sided attraction is so cold. I can't feel my heartbeat anymore. And it's amazing that after all this time, your eyes still have not been mine. Is this a slight misunderstanding? Am I mistaken or is she taking a couple more steps towards me? It feels like forever before she makes it to my side. And I feel a cold wind blow when she asks me for a light. Oh, this one-sided attraction is so cold. I can't feel my heartbeat anymore. And it's amazing that after all this time, your eyes still have not been mine. Notice how her fingertips wrap around her glass and bring it to her lips. It's such a subtle observation. I wish that she would say one time, how about your place or mine? That would be fine. Oh, this one-sided attraction is so cold. I can't feel my heartbeat anymore. And it's amazing that after all this time, your eyes still have not been mine. Oh, this one-sided attraction is so cold. I can't feel my heartbeat anymore. And it's amazing that after all this time, your eyes still have not been mine. Oh.
I knew you were the perfect choice from the first time you came around. So later on when I took your breath, I was hesitant to put you in the ground. Propped you up, put makeup on, put you in a pretty blue dress. Had to make sure you stood out from all the rest. Knew you'd make, knew you'd make. I knew you'd make a beautiful corpse. Knew you'd make, knew you'd make. I knew you'd make a beautiful corpse. I knew you'd make a beautiful corpse as I saw you sitting at the bar. Looked like you had tears in your eyes. Someone had pushed you a little too far. Walked up, said hello, asked if I could help. It's when I got a whiff of your perfume. Can't even tell you what I feel. Knew you'd make, knew you'd make. I knew you'd make a beautiful corpse. Knew you'd make, knew you'd make. I knew you'd make a beautiful corpse. An exquisite corpse.
house as I saw you strutting across that empty street. Smiling, waving, I called you sweet names, but you refused our eyes to meet. Oh, what beauty in your panic run. Oh, the fun has just begun. Hush now, baby, don't you cry. It's time for your final lullaby.
All right, we're back. JNC in the morning. That was the Bloody Jug Band. Beautiful Corpse. A little Halloween music for your Wednesday morning. Thank you for joining me here on YouTube and the Live365 Radio App. On JNC Radio. Hotline's open, 772-888-1596. Some music news. John Mayer taps Dave Chappelle and Bob Weir for the Rise for the River benefit series. John Mayer unveiled his 3-day Rise for the River charity concert series to raise funds for those devastated by Montana's historic flooding. The Grammy winner announced Tuesday on Instagram, announcing Rise for the River, 3 great big, very small shows in Livingston, Montana, to support a county greatly impacted by flooding and the resulting closure of the Yellowstone Park entrance that the local economy relies on. The 3-part concert series kicks off on Monday, August 8th, and will run the following 2 Sundays, ending on August 21st at Pine Creek Lodge in Livingston, Montana. The 3-day event will feature guest acts Bobby Weir, John's Dead and Company bandmate, as well as comedian Dave Chappelle. Weir will helm the concert set for Monday, August 8th, while Chappelle takes over the stage on Sunday, August 14th. John continued, I'm blown away by the generosity of my friends, Bobby Weir and Dave Chappelle, and can't wait to celebrate this awesome community with those who share my love for it. Ticket sales benefit the SWMT Flood Relief Fund, which will assist in cleanup and rebuilding efforts currently underway in the affected areas. Tickets were priced starting at $150, and John's fans snapped them up. There's currently a wait list that you can join on his official website. In addition, 2 tickets are up for bid on charity auctions today. Within an hour, the price surged past $6,000 for the pair. Don't be mad if the tickets sell out, the Vengeance Star acknowledged, adding those who want to help Montana can do so by texting Flood 2020 or Flood 2022 to 41444. John has lived in Park County, Montana for over a decade and has spoken out about the catastrophic flooding, begging people to visit Yellowstone to help jumpstart the local economy. So doing good in the world. Good for you, John Mayer. I love John Mayer. Some people are not fans, but I love him. I think his music's great. I like his attitude. I think he's a funny guy. That's just me. I really enjoyed his concert earlier this year. So, also making news, and for you Florida people, The Weeknd will launch his very own haunted house at Universal Studios. Entertainment Weekly confirms the Blinding Lights singer will bring the thrills and chills to his very own haunted house at Universal Studios. The attraction, which is part of the Halloween Horror Nights, pays homage to The Weeknd's After Hours album. The Weeknd After Hours Nightmare will be part of Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal Studios Orlando Resort, which means fans from either coast can immerse themselves into the Grammy winner's twisted imagination. I always wanted my own Halloween Horror Nights haunted house, as Halloween has always been significant to my music. So this is a total dream come true, he said in a statement. I feel like my music videos have served as a launching pad for a collaboration like this, and I cannot wait for people to experience this madness. The single house experience transports thrill seekers into the after hours fantasy world and is soundtracked to the songs After Hours, In Your Eyes, Heartless, Blinding Lights, Save Your Tears, and Too Late. Halloween Horror Nights executive producer John Murdy teased the first part of the experience called the Nightmare Extraction, which includes an articulated, lifelike version of The Weeknd strapped to a machine reminiscent of a Clockwork Orange. Something goes wrong with the machine meant to suck out The Weeknd's nightmares, leaving the audience to face all of those things and dark places he went to in creating the album, says Murdy. Thrill seekers will also encounter a horrific toad creature unlike anything you've ever seen before, he added. There will also be moments that will make you think you're getting hit in the face with blood. Gross. The attraction opens September 2nd in Orlando and September 8th in Hollywood. I used to love going to Halloween Horror Nights. I always thought that was just a good time. And I haven't gone in years. I haven't been in years. My buddy Brian used to do design for most of the haunted houses. He would run all the audio and the audio gags and things like that. And we were living together in a house in Orlando at the time, so I would get the whole scoop on the haunted houses before we went and got to see them. So, like, I felt like I was in the know. But Halloween Horror Night was always a good time. I wonder what it would be like. Like I said, I have not gone in well over a decade. It'd be interesting to go, and I'm not such a young buck, maybe a little older, and would like to think wiser. But could be a good time. Could be quite a good time. So, yeah, Halloween Horror Night. Opening September 2nd in Orlando, September 8th in Hollywood. Keep an eye out for the weekend's haunted house there. What else is going on out there today? Might be all my stories. A little preview of tonight's show, as I mentioned on Jams and Cocktails this evening. We're broadcasting on YouTube. I might try to give Facebook a try, but only for the purpose of trying to pull people over to YouTube. So I might be live streaming both. But you'll also be able to listen to the show on the Live365 app available in the App Store and Google Play. You can grab that and then find JNC Radio on there and tune into the show. 8 o'clock tonight Eastern Time. It's National Scotch Day, which is my day. I'm a rum drinker. I love rum, as Paul knows, as many of you know. But I do love a good scotch. I love even a shit scotch. Let's be honest. It's just it's my kind of drink. So we're going to be talking a little bit about Scotch whiskey history and some of my favorite scotches and some of yours as well. So it should be a good time tonight. We've got some Scotch-themed shenanigans. And it's going to be good. So National Scotch Day on the Jams and Cocktails podcast, live tonight, 8 p.m. Facebook, YouTube, and JNC Radio on the Live365 app. In 2 weeks' time, we have a musical guest, Ricky B. will be joining us. He's an amazing loop artist. And if you're not sure or don't know what that is, you've ever seen somebody that, records all their parts on a little pedal and creates this, great arrangement in real time before your very eyes and ears. He does this exceptionally well, and he does the most incredible mashups of tunes. So he's got a great story to tell. He made a huge difference during the pandemic for musicians by starting the one of the Facebook pages called the Social Distance Fest, and gave it created an environment for musicians to come and live stream and play music and get tips and all that thing, when that was a massive deal just a couple of years ago. He was on the forefront of that. So it's gonna be a great interview and great to hang out with him. And that's in 2 weeks' time, so a week from today. Yeah. I think it's time, though, if I'm not mistaken, and this is very Brad top 10 list, if you know me at all. So let's get into our JNC top 10 list before we wrap this thing up. All right, JNC top 10 list. Today's top 10 list is 10 lesser known but also notable historical shipwrecks. I recently got into the culture of salvaging shipwrecks and Spanish treasure and all of these things over the last couple of years, working with various people, and very exciting to uncover history in much the same way as pillaging Egyptian tombs, except most of these shipwrecks did not specifically say in writing that if you disturb this, you'll be cursed. Number 10 on this list is the Fergold Drake. It was a trading ship owned by the Dutch East India Company. It was constructed in 1653. She had been in operation for only 3 years when tragedy struck off the coast of Western Australia. During a freight haul from the Cape of Good Hope to Batavia, Indonesia, now known as Jakarta, submerged coral reef split the hull and forced the crew to abandon her. An estimated 185,000 guilders, or silver coins, and other cargo, I guess the equivalent of around 2.4 million euros today, were lost in the wreckage. Only 75 of the crew of 193 survived and made it to shore. The ship's lifeboat and some provisions were also salvaged, so 7 of the 75 survivors returned to sea to sail to Batavia for aid. They made it to their destination after 41 days. Rescue ships were then sent to recover the remaining survivors and cargo, but they all failed to find any trace of the wreckage or the survivors' camp. As a result, the Dutch East India Company ceased sending rescue expeditions after 3 years of failure, and the wreckage would not be discovered again until 1963, hundreds of years later. The Fremantle Maritime Museum in Australia now houses some of the artifacts pulled from the wreckage, but not all of the silver has been found for you silver seekers. Number 9 on the list is the SS Vaitarna. The Vaitarna was a British steamship that operated in coastal India in the 1880s, transporting passengers between the coastal cities of Mandvi and Mumbai. Back then it was Bombay. She was known informally as the Vigili, or the Haji Kasam ni Vigili, after the ship's owner, Captain Haji Kasam. Vigili was the Indian word for electricity, after the then novel electronic lights that lit the deck. During a routine passenger voyage, the Vaitarna left the port of Dwarka with approximately 700 passengers on board. The ship's normal route would take her to the port of Porbandar next, but rough seas and a warning from the port authority left her unable to reach port. Instead, she sailed on to its next stop in Mumbai, but never made it, and no trace of the ship, debris, survivor, or casualty was ever discovered. The disaster became a cultural flashpoint in the region, being retold and mythologized in stories and folk songs, and is today known as the Titanic of Gujarat, despite predating the sinking of the Titanic. That was how much of an impact the Titanic had. Number 8 on this list is the Boyd. It was a British brigantine that operated during the late 18th century, sailing between London and the West Indies. Most of the ships on this list are better known today for the circumstances of their sinking than for their active service, hauling freight, but the Boyd holds a dubious honor of having her name better remembered as a disaster than as a ship. The Boyd met her final gruesome fate in New Zealand in an incident now remembered as the Boyd Massacre. While anchored at a harbor, she was waylaid by Maori warriors. The attackers killed and cannibalized nearly the entire crew and looted the cargo of the Void. During the altercation, the ship's supply of gunpowder was accidentally ignited, killing 10 of the assailants in the initial explosion and setting fire to the ship. What a sight. Number 7 on the list is the Trial, another British cargo ship that departed on her maiden voyage from Plymouth to Bantam in 1621. She stopped at the Cape of Good Hope for supplies, and this is where the captain learned that all East India Company ships had recently been ordered to sail south of 35 degrees when traversing the East Indies. This route had been proven safer and would cut up to 6 months off the travel time previously established by the other route. However, the Trial's captain was unfamiliar with this route, and he attempted to recruit a mate at the Cape of Good Hope who knew the route better but failed to find anyone. The Trial attempted the route but ended up too far east and struck rocks. The crew was forced to abandon the ship, and a longboat of 36 survivors made it to the Montebello Islands. They stayed there for a week before setting back out to sea, eventually making it to their original destination in Bantam. The boat of survivors is now recognized as the first Europeans to make landfall in Australia. Number 6 is the HMS Sickle. It was a World War II Royal Navy submarine, active primarily in the Gulf of Genoa and the Aegean Sea. After launching into active service in 1942, the Sickle was engaged in a number of military movements and was confirmed to have sunk a total of 10 Axis ships, including 3 minesweepers and a German submarine. The Sickle left the harbor at Malta on May 31st, 1944. On June 4th, she was engaged in combat at the surface, and one crew member was washed overboard by a wave and captured by the Axis forces. The Sickle survived the encounter, but the captured sailor would ultimately become the Sickle's sole survivor, as the skirmish was the last confirmed sighting of the Sickle. The Sickle's last signal on June 12, 1944, stated that she had spotted an enemy convoy near Steno Pass. The convoy is recorded as having dropped 2 depth charges, but it's not believed to have sunk the Sickle with them. Over the next few weeks, a few Greek fishing boats were sunk by or sighted a submarine matching the Sickle's description, but the Sickle never returned to harbor. Today, she is believed to have hit an undersea mine and sunk with no survivors, but no evidence of the wreck was ever found. Spooky. Number 5 is the Santo Antonio. The Santo Antonio was a Portuguese ship personally owned by King John III of Portugal. She sank in a storm off the coast of Cornwall in 1527, killing 41 of its 86 crew. The wreck of the Santo Antonio is remembered chiefly due to the value of her lost cargo, primarily a load of copper and silver coins worth about 18,000 pounds at the time. That's probably about 100 million in the early 21st century, which is great. The salvage of the cargo quickly became the subject of an international dispute between Portugal and England, while King John III and King Henry VIII of England both agreed that the cargo should be returned to Portugal. This ran contrary to established English manorial rights at the time. 3 prominent Cornwall landowners improved their status significantly in the years that followed the wreck and are assumed to have been profited from salvaged treasure. Still, because of the difficulties of salvaging a sunken ship's cargo, it could never be proven how much of the original treasure remained on the seafloor. Still could be tons of money out there, you guys. Number 4 is the Nancy. It was built in Wilmington, Delaware in 1775, originally as a British cargo transport. When America declared independence, the Nancy was newly chartered as an American ship to transport gunpowder and weapons for the American Revolution. As a result, the Nancy holds the distinction of being the first ship to raise an American flag in a foreign port, a claim supported by the fact that she was recorded as destroyed on June 29, 1776, after the Second Continental Congress resolved to declare independence, but before the official declaration on July 4th of that year. The Nancy ran aground in fog while fleeing a pair of British warships in the summer of 1776. Its crew salvaged as much of the cargo as they could, and then set a fuse to ignite the ship's gunpowder in order to scuttle the ship and keep it out of British hands. The crew removed the American flag and brought it with them as they abandoned the ship. Very patriotic. The British took this as a gesture of surrender and were in the process of boarding the Nancy at the time of its explosion. That is a major snafu, a major misread for the British. Yikes. Number 3 is the HMS Harrier. It was a British cruiser-class sloop that served in the British Navy in the early 1800s. She launched in 1804 and was lost in 1809, having participated in numerous naval battles at the time. The Harrier is the only ship on this list whose final fate is still unknown to this day. The last known position was about 1,000 nautical miles from the island of Rodriguez in the Indian Ocean. It had been traveling in the company of the HMS Racehorse, but lagged behind and eventually fell out of the Racehorse's view. She was presumed sunk with no survivors, but no wreckage has ever been recovered, and no explanation for what could have sunk her has ever been uncovered. Spooky. Number 2 is the U-3514. It was a Type XXI German U-boat and a part of the Nazi Germans' Kriegsmarine, built to serve in World War II. Like all U-boats, she had no name beyond the serial number, but unlike most U-boats, this one also saw no active duty. She was launched in October of 1944 and commissioned that December, but by this point, the war was nearly over. She was harbored at Bergen, Norway, and in reserve to await a call to action that never came. And only 5 months later, in 1945, the Axis surrendered the U-boat to the Allies, who harbored her in Ireland. And she was eventually scuttled in 1946 by the Soviet Navy as part of Operation Deadlight because she had been mothballed for effectively her entire existence. She was nearly overlooked by Operation Deadlight. U-3514 was the last U-boat to be scuttled in the operation and thus holds the distinction of being the last Nazi U-boat ever. And number 1 on our top 10 list today is the wreck of the Wydal Galley. The Wydal Galley was originally commissioned in 1715 as a heavily armored cargo/passenger ship to transport goods in the African slave trade. However, she had yet to complete the triangle of her maiden voyage when she was pursued and captured by the pirate Black Sam Bellamy, thus beginning the Wydal's far better known career as a pirate ship. Bellamy tormented the Atlantic coast of America, capturing smaller vessels and assembling pirate fleet before ultimately running aground and capsizing off the coast of Massachusetts. Only 9 of the crew were recovered alive, 6 of whom were tried and convicted of piracy. The Wydal's wreckage was discovered in 1984 and has been in a state of perpetual recovery ever since. The recovery of the ship's bell, stamped with the Wydal Galley 1716, positively identified the wreck and made it the only fully authenticated sunken pirate ship ever to be rediscovered. Today, artifacts from the wreck include a bell and a chest of silver coins from the cornerstone of the Wydal Pirate Museum in West Yarmouth, Massachusetts. So, a little pirate history, rightfully so, on our list of the 10 lesser-known shipwrecks. Thanks for listening. We're going to take one more music break and going to come back with my shameless plugs, and I think we're going to get you on with the rest of your day. Yes, that is correct. Let's see. What should we play here? Do one from Sandman Sleeps. You're listening to Jams and Coffee in the Morning. We'll be right back.
I Day I met you, I got lost in those eyes. If only I knew all the trouble you'd bring, and all the pain that you put me through. I could have avoided this whole thing, but something about you made it hard for me to say no, as much as I wanted to. You said you got scared of the feelings that you felt. Guess I'll never really know the truth. I guess that I was pretty dumb. I should have known I can't trust anyone. I just wanted to believe that you would be different. In the end, it's still that same old story about a broken-hearted girl. Never did a thing wrong, but still inside she dies and blames herself. Even though he wasn't any good for her, made a broken promise, so she still hung on to everything she liked about him. And now she is so lost. Everywhere I turn, you were always there. Don't know why I couldn't seem to escape. Everybody told me you just have to move on, but all I could see was your face. I guess that I just should have listened to everyone who told me not to believe him. But I can't seem to forget how it made me feel. And in the end, it's still that same old story about a broken-hearted girl. Never did a thing wrong, but still inside she dies and blames herself. Even though he wasn't any good for her, made a broken promise, so she still hung on to everything she liked about him. And now she is so lost. You can tell by the look in her eyes, she don't wanna cry. One more tear over this boy, she just wants a reason why. She got so addicted to his kiss and how she used to feel when she looked into those eyes.
That was Victoria Lee. Welcome back to JNC in the morning. Just got a few shameless plugs before we get you on to the rest of your day. Of course, most importantly for me is the Jams and Cocktails podcast, broadcasting live tonight, YouTube, Facebook, and on JNC Radio via the free LIVE365 Radio App. You can get that free from the App Store or Google Play, and just search for JNC Radio. In my opinion, because we are such a radio-styled show, it is great to watch. There's a lot of visuals that are great on YouTube, but if you're anything like me and grew up listening to talk radio, that's really what it's all kind of modeled after and the theme that we go for. So it is an interesting perspective getting to listen to it through the radio app. And the app is really nice, and it immediately pulls up the the last station that you listen to. So, you know, if you're in the car, you connect it to your Bluetooth, you open the app, and it pops right up and it says, do you want to continue listening to JNC Radio? If we're the last station you listen to. So, there's no, like, searching around. It's very easy and convenient to tune in. And we have music running all day. It's a mix of good, feel-good music and local Treasure Coast music and beyond, independent singer-songwriters, many of whom are very good friends of mine. Great music here on the Treasure Coast of Florida. It's unbelievable. What a great music scene. And so we feature a lot of that on the radio station as well. And then, we break in with our live shows, and it's a good time as well. So check it out, the Live365 Radio App. And then you can find JNC Radio on there. I'd like to send a shout-out to Paul from Drums and Rums. Sorry that your event yesterday was not a bust, but certainly wet. You got wet. I hope that everything went well. Otherwise, Jordan said she had a great time, and she really enjoyed meeting the guys from Tides, Rum and Vodka. So wish their brand great success in their launch, and hope to partner up with you and do some things with them in the future. So be sure to check out the Drums and Rums podcast. And also Paul's live streams on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. His biggest happy hour and half an hour. It's awesome. And I'm going to try to figure out, Paul, how we can syndicate that to or simulcast that to the radio show. So we'll work on that. We'll work on that. And get that going, because that would be awesome also. Code Rum, our friends at Code Rum, Johnny Ringo and the Code Rum Company. You can also get Code Rum cakes. And Johnny Ringo also has his own line of delicious hot sauces called Captain Ringo's Hot Sauces. And they are great. Very, very good. And the rum cakes are out of this world, too. So you can check all that out at thecoderum.com or coderumcakes.com. And all that stuff is available there for you to check out. Our friends at the Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart, always supportive of the things that we do. We love Darren and the crew there. I'm there the first and third Sunday of each month performing Sunday Fun Day. And it's always a great time, so you got to come out and hang with me on the first and third Sunday. Our friends at Hop Life Brewing. Delicious local beer here. Firefighter owned. Retired now, but a great place for live music and other events, and great beer and great food too. So we'll actually be having them on as a guest on the Jams and Cocktails podcast in a future show for National Beer Lovers Day, which is coming up. So that should be a good time as well. As I mentioned, it's National Scotch Day on the Jams and Cocktails podcast tonight. So if you're a Scotch drinker or interested in just learning a little bit more about Scotch and playing some games with us, tune in tonight, of course. And I think that does it for my shameless plugs. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me this morning, as always. Jordan sending me a random text or random traffic update. She said, I'm sure. All she wrote was, guess where I'm stuck. And I already know the answer, and that's Hope Sound. So be careful out there driving near Hope Sound on the interstate. Interstate 95, that is. There is a slowdown. Find an alternate route. Thank you for that update, Jordy. Please drive safe out there. Yeah. So that does it for me. You guys, I'll see you tonight for the Jams and Cocktails podcast. And I will obviously see you tomorrow morning as well for another Jams and Coffee episode. So whatever you do out there, do it well and do it on your own terms. Don't take shit from anyone. Drink some water, because it's going to be hot. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brad Brock. We'll see you later.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.